Hello, let's do Wordle for Saturday, November 22nd. Yesterday we spun the wheel and it almost picked pizza, but it did not. It picked sober, so we're starting with sober today. All right, all gray. So we want to think about the common letters that are left. Tier 1 letters are TLN. P, C, H aren't so bad. They're kind of tier 2. But let's see. I can't do Talon. I like the idea of doing like an L second and then an NT at the end. So something like glint. You know what? Glint came to mind. It's not that bad. Getting an A would be better. So actually plant. Oh no, plant is way better because P is a tier 2 word, letter and A is the most common next vowel. So we're going to go with plant. Wow, okay, just the T. So we've already eliminated most words, to be honest. I think we're doing fine. So where does the T go, though? Do we try to start with T? I'm trying to figure out like what form this is going to take. It seems like a weird word. Okay, it's not the ite trap. I was about to say it could be the ite trap, but it's not because we can't end in T. So we're okay there. It could be the itty trap, though. We had that one recently. And I don't even remember what the most recent one was, which is really unfortunate because remembering what we've had before is extremely helpful because then you don't have to guess it. But let's assume it's the itty trap and let's think about what the options are. I think witty is with 2 T's. The problem I always have with the itty trap is remembering which words use the 2 T's, which ones uses 1 T. But I think witty is fine. I think ditty is a word. Giddy is with D's, not with T's. Tree fitty? No. Kitty, like a kitty cat. Honestly, I think that's it. I think we got rid of a lot of them. And I have to include a T. So if I could start with T, it would also tell me whether it's titty, but I don't know whether they'd make that the answer. But I have to use a T anyway because I'm in hard mode. So including even just like any one more of these seems like a win. I do want to include at least one of these, but if I'm only going to include one of them, it feels like I should just guess it straight up. But if I can include 2 of DWK, that's a huge win. But I don't know how I do that. Nothing's like immediately coming to mind. What about like a TW word? Even just that seems pretty good to me. Is there one left? TWI? Twick. You twicked me. There's got to be one. I just can't see it. Twist, but I could technically guess twist. It would be awful, though, because the S is gray and the T is being reused on the yellow. But it's not as bad as you think, because it would tell me whether there's more than one T. I could do twixt, which is slightly better, getting an X. I don't think there's an X in the word, but it's technically better than using the S. But it still puts that T at the end, which I don't need, but it still tests whether there's 2 T's, which is useful information. But it means I'm throwing out the option of getting it in 3. So the question is whether I think there's even a chance I'm getting this in 3. I think if I wanted to go for 3, I'd guess something like witty, or ditty, and just hope for the best. What about like a TH? See, I don't know where to put the W if it's not there, but I don't have to use the W. I could use the D or the K. Oh, how about just thick then? I think thick is really good. Finally found something that's good. So it tests for titty, it tests for kitty, and then H, I, and C are just good letters that I haven't tried yet. Okay. You know, what did I say about throwing out the possibility of getting a 3 if I guess something like twixt? All right. So I didn't have to worry about the itty trap because it wasn't today, but you do have to worry about it ahead of time in if you're trying to play hard mode. So worked out. I just guessed a good word. All right. I don't think there's going to be too many people failing today. I mean, it's a little bit trappy. Like there's trick as well, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how trappy this actually is. Maybe having the T, I, and C, you might worry about ending in E. Nah, I think our solve rate's over 99% today. We'll find out. First thing we need to do is spin the wheel and see what we are starting with tomorrow. Shuffled a bunch, spin it. All right. We're starting with, the wheel loves to double up. I mean, you saw me spam that shuffle. It was a good start, though. And Mortar Shell is a super supporter, so I don't mind doing it again. Mortar Shell has 5 words on the wheel, and it picked Antsy again of those 5. So we're starting with Antsy again. It worked out well. It's got good letters in it. So, and it could still be the answer. So maybe tomorrow's answer is Antsy. Who knows? I certainly don't. All right. So if you'd like to follow along, start tomorrow with Antsy. Let us check the bots and see how I did today. So let's just pull that up. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Trying to organize my windows. The answer was thick. Started with sober. What does it suggest? This suggests pinch or gland. I'm surprised that plant isn't here, but it's concerned that plant would have a loss. I don't know what plant would lose on. I guess we'll find out in a second. So plant would lose on vaunt and jaunt, so the aunt trap, but it wasn't the aunt trap because A ended up gray. So and the end, so we were fine there. There's a lot of words left, but notice it is suggesting to go into that itty trap right away or do width. So it's also concerned about that. I did thick, which isn't even in the list. So I got very lucky there. I thought it was a good one. Anyway, I mean, thick, I won a 1 in 20. And it wasn't even like, according to the bot, it wasn't even something I should have been guessing. It's suggesting width, which is actually really good, right? If we're worried about the itty trap, then it gets you witty and ditty. And it tests if you're the itty trap at all with that I and that T. So it's really good. But apparently just going straight for ditty was better. So I guess guessing a double T word is pretty good in this situation to find where the T goes. Because I don't think there's any double T words other than, let's see. So there was ditty, 50. Interesting. Okay. There was get gutty. I do not know what gutty means. Kitty and witty. So of the itty trap, there was just ditty, kitty, and witty, which is what I thought of. And titty is not on the answer list. Is it even? Yeah, it's accepted, but it's not on the answer list. Okay. Cool. So what does it do? It does pinch, and then from there it's only chick or pit or thick. So it could get it in 3, but if you don't know it's down to those 2, you're probably gonna go for thick over chick just to get the unique letter. So probably a 3 there. Tails, we get that starting T. It goes thorn, which gets the TH, and then it just goes thick. Or it's equally good to guess any of these other ones. So it might go like thigh thick or thumb thigh thick. Would be kind of like a worst case scenario here. Or thump thigh thick. Just building our pyramids. All right, let's see. So steel is going to be a bit different because the T is yellow. So it's actually going to go for mount. Check for that ount trap, I guess. Then it's going to go width, which I need to remember that one for the itty trap. And then it goes thick from there. All right. Adieu. We get the I in the middle. We're going to go flint, then smith, and then thick. Thick is in the list, though, at 1.8. So thick, it's possible to get thick in 3, but more likely it's getting it in 4. Then we've got audio. Pissed. Pissed is the best follow-up from audio from there. The yellow I, and then it goes flirt, similar to adieu. And then it's going to go something like thing thick, or just thick right away, or tying thick. So again, a 4 or 5. All right. Trace tries to get in 2. So, okay, so it's got a 50-50 get into today, and it does list thick first. So trace, I could say, probably got a win today, getting it in 2. Half the time at least. And then place is what the official bot starts with just that C in place. It's testing CH at the end before doing CK. My instinct is always to do CK, so maybe I should change that. Hutch is weird, getting that double H right away. I'm going to go with touch and then thick. But if it goes hutch, it still gets thick. So it's getting it in 3. I am guessing that this is the official bot solve, but we'll see in just a moment. All right, so let's load up the official bot. See how we did today. All right, 84 skill, 42 luck, 3 steps. It doesn't mind sober as a start. Thick had a 75 skill rate. It would have, this was a very lucky guess, 97 luck, wow. Wonder what its equation is for luck, like the exact formula. So a 1 in 20 gets you a 97. I know a 1 in 2 gets you a 75. So it must like scale up from there. Plant was very unlucky. It would have been one of its top picks, 93. Interesting. Okay. So how many people started with sober? 106 people started with sober. That's a lot. Plant is the most common follow-up. So if you're using similar analysis to me, you kind of arrive at the word plant. Plate, also pretty good if you want the double vowel. Plain, also good if you want double vowel. But you lose out on that T. Paint is pretty good as well. Paint is what it goes. Chant, glint, cling, think, tulip, guild. Interesting. Okay. And so it does exactly what I suspected. Place, touch, thick. We've got 0.2% people starting with thick. I thought thick would be a more common starting word, to be honest. It's a common word. I think some people might think those are good letters to get at the start, but maybe not. Turn 6, greater than 99%. Yeah, there's nothing people are consistently losing on here. Chick, think, trick, thigh. All right, cool. Well, that is it for Wordle. How'd you do? And if you would like to watch the New York Times games, you just got to click at the end of the video. It'll take you right there. I also have a pinned comment with all the games I played today. And if you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.